Well, obviously disappointed. I liked what we did the first 10 minutes or so, and loved how we moved the ball and spaced the floor and got off the penetration, but we just couldn't sustain it. And then eventually our defense kind of wore down and got away from us, and just never quite got it back to how we were. And I've got to do a better job of us sustaining, doing what we do well. And as I told our guys, like we've got strengths and we've got to play to them. And I think we got away from some of that, and then our defense kind of was not there to maintain it. So too many baskets around the rim again, and we don't make shots, so it becomes how we handle it, and that's something we've been challenged by all year long. So gradually, Kansas came back from a 14-point deficit pretty quickly, called timeout. Probably called another timeout, but we just didn't execute as we needed to do throughout. So got to stay with what works. But we got stationary offensively, and defensively they shoot 56%. So it seemed like only 12 turnovers, but they seemed to be live ball turnovers that led to transition. And then we had some transition opportunities we just didn't convert. And that's, I think, is something that's been a challenge we've been working on, really trying to do a better job of. But, the things we saw that we let down on today were things we've been working on. So I've got to do a better job of getting that message across and finishing up and completing that task. So it's on me.
How frustrating is it seeing your team play to the level that they can and then having? Well,
I mean, that's basketball. I mean, they could say the same thing about them, for that thing. It's moments, and it's sustaining, and we're battling. Noah's got some foul trouble, so that has some impact. We got him in and played him a lot actually with having 2 fouls so early. Just didn't get it done. Free throws. I mean, there's things that we're working on, so I don't know frustrating that we're working on, and we know, and game is against different time. It's runs and of doing it, but that game was a little different because we had the good start. Made it 3. I mean, Brendan hits his first 3, and I don't think he made one after that. Well, that has something to do with it. Their guy Moore's hit 2 threes on the year, and he hits 3 threes. And it's like, does that mean what does that mean? Is that you don't call that frustrating? It's just those things happen, and it's unexplainable, but it happened. And so, we've got to stay with a thing, and you can do everything right too, and not make the shot, or they make a tough shot, and those things. But you got to do it over 40 minutes. And those made shots didn't happen in the second half, as we know, and the numbers. And so we had our best shooter, I thought, taking good shots. They didn't go, but that's going to happen. You've got to defend, and you've got to do the other things to prepare for those situations. And so worked fine against Baylor. They didn't go in, but we have to find the other ways, and that's what we're not didn't get done tonight.
Can you just talk about the moment there in the second half, that odd tie-up between Hunter and Trey?
Yeah, I mean, it was on the other side. I didn't see it. I mean, I think it was pretty unimportant, I guess. I mean, I don't know. This guy's, just one of those things. We see that in games, practices, more just jump ball. I don't think anybody did anything dirty or anything. They just wouldn't stop, I guess, when the officials did. I don't even know what the key was for. The T's were for, but I guess the officials told them to stop, and they didn't. So that obviously was. So, I mean, I don't think that's anything that they had to do something because they didn't do what they were told to do by the officials.
Talked about playing to strengths. There's a lot of basketball left. Like, how does this team need to play? What needs to be the identity of this team for you guys to be successful going forward?
Well, defending and rebounding. And we out-rebounded, Baylor in the last game, and, that was, again, the emphasis. And, the rebound numbers aren't as bad, but in the first half when we were winning, we were up on the rebounds. I mean, we've got to out-rebound people. We're playing big. We play punch in there with Ernest. We're not getting, huge scoring numbers out of those guys. So, but we've got to get rebounding and defense, and that's the trade-off. And so, But they give us a good production on a normal basis. But that's what we've got to do. So we got to get we're relying on freshmen, and we got to have freshmen play well. We don't have 50 or seniors out there very often. So we've got to keep trying to come together. We've shown. I think what we really emphasized these last 2 days of practice. We did to the start of that game, and then some missed shots. I think constantly not converting in transition, and then them making some key threes in the second half. Probably if you looked at it, we probably were more open on the threes we missed than the threes that they made. Those are things that usually end up in your favor, but they didn't tonight.
With the Frankie injury, Rashawn's kind of been put into a bigger role. What's your assessment of him been for this year?
We only have really 2 guards, so I don't know how many Division I teams are doing that, but probably situation unique. Right before the redshirt number of games, it is what it is. We're doing the best we can, and I think Noah's really stepped up and played really well. Bashan has had a really good start to the game, and we got to sustain it. But we've got to do things better. I wonder about the rotation. We got away from it a little bit. What we wanted to do, some of what we had planned to do. They played smaller. More, I don't know more. We knew they had to just because of their personnel, and their guys hurt us. Again, guys hit 2 threes on the year, hits 3. Those are things you can, those are things we got to do a better job of. But the numbers don't seem to indicate that. But and our best shooter, goes. So we got to defend better. Simply put, we got to out-rebound them by a bigger number. They played smaller. We didn't get it done on the glass. And while they had 17 turnovers, I was a little surprised by. But our 12 seemed to hurt us in transition. They got breakaways out of them, and we got to convert the turnovers. I think that's one thing that's really offensive. We are working a lot on this of turning turnovers into baskets, and we're not as good as as I want to be, and what we've been in the past. And there's obvious reasons for it. We're running freshmen rather than seniors, but we got to get them better.
You mentioned the freshmen and just how young the team is this year. What's the biggest challenge coaching a younger team versus a veteran team?
Guys, just physically older, first off. Just physical. That's the obvious thing. And then been through it, and they returning guys versus guys that aren't in the same place, same program. So I think those are impactful. So everything's different, as we know, and but there's other challenges too with every team you put together and every team you go against. So. I thought we would have done converted better in transition and done a better job of. We had to. They went small, and we had to out rebound them by a bigger number, and we didn't. And with those turnovers, it seemed our turnovers hurt us more than theirs hurt them.
Coach, this a little bit of a two-parter.
Yeah.
Is this your biggest roster flip that you've ever had?
Oh, yeah.
By far?
Yeah.
Has it been
It's probably the
harder?
biggest in the country. We only got one returning player, so it's not hard to figure out.
So has it been harder to do this than maybe you knew it was going to be tough? Now that you're actually living it and doing it, has it been harder than you thought maybe?
Well, you throw in, we had the senior that had played the most and played this level gets hurt, so you throw that one in there, so I didn't anticipate that. Most teams, if you see what happens if they lose their point guard, give them a call and see how that's going. Practice one way all summer long, all fall, all go into November, then change everything around. We've changed completely our lineup. So there's, what was the word you used?
It's been harder.
it's never easy. Let's put it this way. It's always, we knew there was going to be some challenges. We're going to be young. We knew that going in, and we knew with NIL and transfer things that you're going to be put in situations in certain places, and so I wouldn't use the word harder. You just got to find the way and make guys and come together as a group, and I still think we can do that and understand roles, and if something goes. Noah gets in foul trouble, you got to adjust and make some changes. If your point guard goes down, you got to adjust and make some changes. So you never have it all figured out, and that's where you got to adapt and I think get better and find the way to be the best you can possibly be, given the circumstances. So I don't know. I'm not going to call it hard. I'm calling it. I look at it as fun and a challenge. You make it the best you can possibly be. So I look at it as fun and a challenge. I've had a lot of great teams. I've had teams that are number one in the country, and those were hard too. So this is a challenge, and we're gonna keep going. And we showed moments. Baylor win. We show moments for the first 10 minutes. We got to go and find. And yeah, there's going to be bad runs. There's going to be a bad stretch. And somebody's going to get in foul trouble, and somebody's going to not make some shots, and somebody's going to just make some shots for the other team. You just keep trusting in what you're doing, and that's what we got to do. And I got to do a better job of getting that across.
Anything else for Coach?
No.
Okay, thank you.